Happy birthday, Omni Nashville. 10 years, can you believe it? We're going to celebrate with Charles Starks, the president and CEO of Music City Center and the director of sales marketing for Omni Hotels Nashville, Mr. Tod Roadarmel. Happy birthday, Omni.
You know, my funny story is that we actually broke ground on the Omni Nashville Hotel on June the 16th of 2011. My first day on the job was April 28th of 11, about 6 weeks before we broke ground. And my first day on the job, I have my Ford F-150 pickup truck. This, where we sit right now, is a parking lot. I pull in the parking lot in my truck and my BlackBerry. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a laptop yet. I didn't have business cards. And so I'm sitting there for about 10 minutes trying to figure out, how am I going to get this started? And my first call was from this gentleman right here, Charles Starks. Says, "Hey, Tod, what are you doing?" He said, "I heard you got the Omni job." I'm like, "Yes, sir, I did." He said, "Well, what are you up to?" I'm like, "I'm sitting in the parking lot. I don't have an office. I don't have business cards or a laptop." He's like, "Get over here right now." And he was kind enough to let me have an office and a computer till I got mine in all of May, June, July, August, and September. And we've been connected at the hip ever since.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, you get this vision when you're on the phone, you're talking to this guy, and it's like, you know, his voice is almost, I thought, you know, it's like, he needs a place. You know, how can you sit in your truck downtown? Number one, he's right in the middle of a construction site. How are we going to get this thing built if he's sitting here? So, no, but Tod and I had known each other previously, and so it's, you know, and the good news, I think, for us is, you know, coming from the old convention center and what we had seen and what we knew the need was, you know, and the story we told then is the same story it is today. You know, we had a center that only competed for 20-25% of the national market. So we wanted to build this Music City Center, and the only way this was going to be successful is we had to have a world-class hotel partner. And so Omni comes to, I will say Omni comes to our rescue and has a chance. And then when I hear they've hired Tod, I thought, okay, this thing, let's go have a lot of fun with this. Let's go have some fun. And so maybe the first fun was getting him out of his truck inside the building with us, but.
We did. I mean, I remember back when we were bidding on those conventions, we were in the original convention center, and right next to Charles' office was the boardroom. And, you know, gosh, when the Music City Center was still under construction, we had a shovel in the ground. We were just reeling them in. We were selling conventions left to right. And honestly, I think that those 3 or 4 years were probably the best of my career.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree. I mean, it was just fun. You know, to some degree, you're almost kind of making up the rules and the policies as you go. Because it's like, okay, we got somebody that wants to come do this in a building that's not finished yet, still just under construction, a hotel that hadn't broken ground yet at that point. Oh yeah, sure we could do that. You know, why couldn't we do that? So, no, those were a lot of fun times. And I mean, that'll be, I'd agree with Tod. It's some of the best years of my career. It is the best years of my career. And so I think when we look at what kind of business do we want in Nashville, and let me say, we are very open and welcoming. We want all business if they can, you know, they can be here. And so when we're looking at it, we've been in a fortunate place more recently where fortunately we've had enough demand and all that we can certainly look at business maybe a little differently than we did in 2011. You know, we're trying at that point, when we started looking at it in those days, it's like, okay, we need to get business on the books. We need to get people here to experience this. They can't even come to a hard hat at this point. So what have we got to do creatively to sell the dream? You know, and basically, and it goes back to a time when, you know, before the Omni came along, when Mayor Dean made the comment one day, he said, we're trying to convince people to come to a building we've not designed on land we do not own yet. You know, and so how are we going to get these people to come in here? And so I think it was a big leap of faith for some of our customers. Some of those are still our very, very dear customers today. Then you fast forward to more recent years. I mean, what's the right mix for the city? I mean, we want a group that gets in here. What's a good fit for the hotels? What's a good fit for the building that we're looking at? And, you know, and we're fortunate. We've been, other than the pandemic years, we've always been profitable as a convention center. That's unheard of basically in our industry. But I will tell you, it starts with partnerships. Partners with our hotel community, partners with the suppliers here in the city, partners with the union here that provides a lot of labor for us, and then partnerships and relationships with our customers. And the good thing is, guys like Tod and I and a lot of other folks, we've been here a long time. And, you know, and so they're coming in 10 years later as we celebrate the 10th year of the Omni. And they're coming in here and they're saying, okay, here are guys that have been here since day one. They told us this is what's going to happen. It did happen. So we have a lot of confidence in them. Now, one of these days, he and I'll head off into the sunset, and we hope that we've built that, along with all of our teams, that it's, that we continue to see that success in the future. But it starts with great partnerships, and we've certainly had a phenomenal partnership with the Omni.
And I think we're very fortunate in Nashville because we are a very collaborative community with all of the hotels. I mean, when the Music City Center opened in May of 13, we only had about 600 rooms south of Broadway. So a citywide convention back then constituted about 1,200 rooms on peak night. Now, to put it in perspective, since we opened our doors in September of 13, there have been a little over 10,000 new hotel guest rooms that have opened within 10 blocks of us. And now, I think our peak night, we're looking for groups of 3,000 rooms or more peak nights. So the demographics has changed, and back then when we were negotiating, we just didn't know what we didn't know, but I think we're kind of good at what we do now.
Absolutely. I will say I think if we went to look back in hindsight and say, what should we have done better? And this will be for me to say that is, I wish the Omni was bigger. I wish we would have had more rooms in the market. I think Omni would concur with that comment that It should have been a bigger hotel because we've seen such demand. But think back to when we're doing this. We're just coming out of a recession. Here's Omni taking a leap of faith to come to Nashville, Tennessee, and build at that time an 800-room hotel on a center that's under construction. And it's like, it took a big leap of faith from Omni. And so we really appreciate that. And we don't ever forget that we were. Now, we're going to be like brothers sometimes too. We may arm wrestle every once in a while over something, and that's all good because then we can go later after that and settle our differences. But those actually are very limited differences. Yeah, we're all rowing in the same way here.
Yes, I would say we're having builder's remorse. Do I wish we were 1,200 rooms? Yes, but back when we broke ground, we were still in the financial crisis, and we didn't know what we didn't know. Would it succeed? Would it be a lost leader? And I think that this destination has taken off beyond anybody's wildest expectations.
Oh yeah, if you look at the Sobro side now of Nashville, and you look at it when we were looking at the site here back in 2007 and 8, and you look at what that looked like. I had a photo for a long time that showed the site and outline that we're going to build a convention center on. And what you looked at, you take that same picture today, and you see it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 additional structures that are up on the south side of Broadway. So don't talk about what's on the north side of Broadway that you can see from that same angle if we took that photo today. And so did anybody see that come? If they did, I'd have bought some land. Okay, let's just be clear. I'd probably be somewhere on a golf course right now if I'd have bought some of that land. And
I'd be your caddy.
Yeah, instead of chatting, but did not see that happen, that's for sure.
It's been a great ride.
Yeah, it has been a great ride. And we're just getting started, good man. 10 years, we're just getting our sea legs under us. Yeah, we're looking forward to the future. So.